Okay, we are at the Tinton Falls, New Jersey Supercharger, and time for some supercharging and chat. On the heels of the eclipse, the solar eclipse that is, on August 21st, I have noticed, and I'm not sure if it corresponds with the software update, but we've noticed that the supercharger status is gone. We don't see the supercharging status at all for any supercharger available. Could be a temporary service outage on the Tesla end. Could be something that has to do with the solar eclipse. We're not sure, but definitely would like some feedback, some information from Tesla about that. I know a lot of people like us who are traveling for the summer would definitely benefit from being able to see the status of superchargers, given that a lot of superchargers were highly occupied for the solar eclipse, specifically in the Carolinas, but even other places that may be on the path of the solar eclipse. Superchargers were going to be pretty packed, so being able to see the status of that, especially if you're traveling, would have been valuable. But hopefully they can rectify the situation. So one of the questions that I got was in response to Elon's tweet. A couple of people have tweeted out some features to him, recommendations of features that he should implement. One of those was the cloud-based driver profiles, and I've suggested that a while ago, as have probably other owners have suggested that a while ago. It just makes sense in this day and age. It makes perfect sense to have a cloud-based driver profile so that no matter what Tesla you're driving, you can just dial in your settings and they'll load right up to your steering position, to your seat, to your mirrors, and other driver options that you have set in your profile. It's very beneficial for loaners. We had a loaner not too long ago, and it would definitely have helped. But also just for people sharing cars, or people who have, or couples who are sharing cars, they don't have to keep changing the settings back and forth just through their profiles manually, and then have to make some additional adjustments. They want to be able to use the cloud-based profile to get everything. And that includes the headrest for any of the Tesla premium seats that have the adjustable headrest. That also needs to be a part of the profile configuration. I know some people have already mentioned it, but I think it's a good idea. I think they're moving in the right direction. I definitely would expect them to move a little bit faster on this type of thing. Being connected, over-the-air, cloud-based platform is something that they're leaders in the space of, and I would hope that something like this would be, sort of a basic feature that they would implement. So hopefully they can get that going and roll that out very quickly. But another thing that they could also add to that, in addition to the driver profiles, the cloud-based driver profiles, would be the ability to allow the radio stations and the maps to also be more unique to each profile and not share, especially when you have common destinations in the map, home, work addresses. Those features would also be helpful to be embedded into the profile and unique to each individual user. And I also suggested also having other limitations for driver profiles, such as a sort of like a valet mode, but for kids or for elderly people who don't need access to all the power and potentially get themselves into danger. If they need to drive the car, they can be limited not just by the speed limit, but by the power output as well, that you could implement. So you could say, I have a profile for my kids. They need a password to access it, sort of like parental control, and be able to allow them not to get in trouble by limiting the power and limiting some other features such as ludicrous mode that would otherwise get them in trouble. I think if there was reports of a teen who took his father's car on a joyride and crashed it. So this is recently, I'm not sure where, but hopefully it'll prevent that type of thing from happening. So if they could do that as well, that would also be great, especially leading up to the Model 3. Another question that comes in via Twitter is someone asking about, I'm not going to mention the name just now because it escapes me and I don't have it in front of me, but I remember the question very fondly, which was, what do I think about the gentleman, the investor, who recommended that Tesla and Uber merge effectively, and for Elon to be the CEO of both? Don't necessarily think it's a good idea. I think Elon has a lot on his plate. I think adding another company in addition to the Boring Company, in addition to Tesla Energy / Solar City, in addition to Tesla itself, as well as SpaceX, I think he has a lot on his plate. That would just be one more thing for him to focus on and sort of distract him from other things. I do think Tesla is on a collision course with Uber in regards to a ride-sharing network. Tesla is wanting to be one of full autonomy. Uber also wanting to be one of full autonomy, but its mainstay and the reason why it is so popular is based on its ability to have drivers and have a large network of drivers. So I don't think that the benefits of a merger would help Tesla. I think it would only suit Uber's benefit in getting a autonomous fleet and all the technology associated with Tesla. But I think Tesla has its own network, its own plans and play to be a direct competitor of an Uber or other ride-sharing services. So I think it's not in their best interest to merge or to be acquired by Tesla or vice versa. And that's just my thought.